Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Red 5 Reviews. Today's video is a book review for Star Wars Rogue Planet, written by Greg Bear. Now, Star Wars Rogue Planet was originally published back in May of 2000, and the story takes place, as it says here on the back of the book, 3 years after the events of the Phantom Menace. It also says here that Anakin Skywalker and Jedi Knight Obi-Wan Kenobi encounter a mysterious world. Yes, they are dispatched on a mission to the planet Xenoma to investigate the disappearance of a Jedi named Vajer. Now, before I give you guys my review for this book, I have to say, as far as Star Wars books go, Rogue Planet was actually a pretty quick read. I finished it about a couple of months ago, and it took me about a week to finish, and I was very surprised by that. Normally, it takes me about a couple of weeks to finish a typical Star Wars book, and after finishing this, I'm just like, man, I can't think of a single person who would actually take more than a week to finish this book. All right, guys, it's now time for my overall thoughts. So now, the big question. Did I like this book? Unfortunately, not that much. And here's why. I thought the story was a little boring. I just sadly wasn't impressed with it. I went into this book hoping to see more focus on Obi-Wan and Anakin at the beginning of their relationship as master and apprentice, but it just didn't deliver what I was hoping for on that front. I actually thought Kenobi was a little annoying as a master in this book, because he was mostly very dismissive towards Anakin's suggestions, even when it came to their investigation to search for the Jedi Vajer. Just seemed that Anakin was more focused on the mission than Kenobi was. Now, the biggest issue I had with this book was the pacing, especially in between chapters, which there was over 60 of them. Now, like I said earlier, it wasn't a hard story to get through, but the transitions in between chapters was awkward. Some chapters would be at least 10 pages, and there'd be some chapters that would only have a couple of pages in them, and then we would get another longer chapter or two. There were even chapters about 1 page length, and not just that, but they were also only 1 paragraph. I both read this book and listened to the audiobook, and I have to admit that while the audiobook is abridged, which I'm typically not a fan of, it was a lot smoother to get through the story, as the audiobook didn't point out when the chapter changed. This wasn't the worst Star Wars book I ever read, and there was some stuff that I did enjoy. I liked how we got to see Anakin experience the dark side very early in his training, even if it was very briefly. Now, I'm kind of in the middle about this next one. I don't hate that Kenobi is still using Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber. I'm just a little confused about why he's still using it. It wasn't even addressed much in the book, too, from what I remember. I like that it could be that he's wielding it to honor Qui-Gon, but we later see him with a new one in Attack of the Clones, so maybe it's just better explained in another story that I just haven't gotten to yet. So while I'm not a fan of this book, I won't urge you not to read it, especially if you'd like to read all of the Star Wars books in the Expanded Universe timeline. And on that note, based on what I've read and have heard from friends here on YouTube, this book does actually have some connections to the New Jedi Order series that takes place decades later in the timeline. I'm going to give Star Wars Rogue Planet by Greg Bear 2.5 out of 5 stars. But what did you guys think? Did you like it or hate it? Either way, post your thoughts on this book down in the comments below and I'll be happy to check them out. And thanks so much for checking out this review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you liked it, then please hit that like button. And if you're new to my channel and would like to stay updated for more of my content, then please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much again, and be sure to be on the lookout for my next review coming very soon. But until then, this is Red 5 standing by.